Hello, fellow guitarians. Welcome to the free lesson. We're not going to go over all of that, but what we're going to do is I've had a lot of requests for the lessons to give us some licks, give us some riffs. A lot of the things that I try to teach are more, I don't know, lectures. I'm trying to get into more graphs and charts to give out, but a lot of people said, hey, I want something that I can, on tabbed out that I can play and practice. So, okay, here's the answer to that. I'm going to kind of combine some things. What we're going to talk about today is, well, I'm going to use the Lydian Mode, which that's what I was just playing over. In a sense, it's G major, but the only chords that I'm kind of on the actual song, the root, is actually C, not G, but it's G major patterns and G major notes. It's the same scale as G major. It's just a mode called Lydian of G major, and I'm doing it in C. So the root note is C, and that that kind of goes like this. This is not about that. This lesson is going to be on something different. But just while we're here, it would be like. So it's just like C major, only it's got a raised fourth, which makes it exactly lay down exactly like it's G major. So if you don't understand modes, there's modes which are all children of the major parent scale. G major has lots of different mode shapes within it. So anyway, enough about the modes. We can go over that some other time if anybody wants to learn more about the modes. I know some secret mode stuff I can share. But this is going to be about a couple of licks that I actually played in the intro there. Sequencing, pentatonic sequencing. Now you can do sequencing on any kind of scale or whatever, triads and different things. But what this is, if you missed the last lesson, it's a pattern, a sequence of notes. Now this sequence of notes, usually it allows you can make them small or you can make them really big. You can make them have a lot of notes before it starts over again. See, that's kind of you can do really short sequences a whole bunch of times, or you can do longer sequences a couple of times, depending on what your needs are. I think one of the longest sequences I ever messed with was, I think, a 6-note. I use it sometimes. It's kind of more like, let's see. That's it. So it looks like when you play a sequence on the guitar, it looks like it's just like a whole bunch of stuff just flying at you. But to the player, it's a simple mathematical type situation. I'm thinking about a pattern going up the scale like a road. Okay, so I'm walking, as I'm playing, I'm walking up the scale road a certain amount of notes, and then I may go back a certain amount of notes, and then go forward a certain amount of notes. And that may be my sequence. And then I start it all over again from a new position. So if I did this sequence right here, let's see, a real simple sequence. We'll do something really simple. We're going to be in like A minor right here, and I'm going to do this. Now that's a sequence, 1, 2, 3, 3 notes in a pattern over and over again. But the only problem is that gets kind of boring. It's sitting there in one spot, right? So what you got to do is you have to move it. That's what I was talking about. Is you move up the road. You're kind of moving up the road. So what I would want to do is I would want to start my sequence on a higher note or a lower note, but then do the same mathematical thing. Now, the scale is going to be, depending on what scale you're using, I'm not talking about scale patterns, repeating those. I'm talking about repeating the order of the notes you're playing. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So in this case, I'm doing a low, I'm just going up the pentatonic scale. Right? Now, I may want to go, and I'm doing 3 notes forward. Let's look at it that way, up the road. Now, I want to do that again, but I'm going to start on the second note that I played, which would be that note. So, it's a pattern that's kind of moving through the scale, okay? So, if you notice that last 3 notes, I still did that same mathematical, that idea. Low, higher, higher, go back one to the note you just played before the last one, and hit that again, and then do higher, higher, okay? So let me see if I can do it on the screen here. Hit a note, go higher, go back a note, hit that note, go higher and higher, go back, hit that note, go higher and higher, like that. So you've got a 3-note pattern, 3-note thing you're doing, and you're moving it up a little bit at a time up the scale. That's sequencing, patterns and things. So now, the one that I really wanted to show you, and let me kind of get you the media up here. Here's the scale we're going to be using. Now this is going to be in A minor or C major, whichever one you want to look at. But I put the right here, right there. Right there is the normal blues pattern kind of idea that you have in pentatonic scale, like A minor, what that looks like right there. But we're going to be playing behind that on the 5th pattern. That's the first pattern, and there's going to be more patterns up, and then it kind of starts all over again. And this is the last one before it starts over again. I use this a lot, more than I used to. I really like this pattern. It's got some really cool stuff in it. So this pattern right here is what we're going to use. And if you notice, I have the red note is the C, which has to do with the Lydian thing we were doing. I was playing over earlier, but you don't have to really worry about the red dot. Anyway, so that's just showing where C is. If I was wanting to do this in the Lydian mode, which hopefully I can give you that link in the comments after, and you can go link and play along with that Lydian track that I was playing over. Be good practice. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is with this pattern in green and red, the green notes, red notes. You want to take a screenshot of that, and what I want to do is I want to play. Let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. That's not the one I want to do. Let's see. Here it is, right here. This one. Okay, so this is a sequence. Now, what's cool about this sequence, and the reason I really love to play it, is because if you play it over a 4/4 song, it actually has 5 notes in its phrase. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which can sound really cool over a 4 beats per measure song. So, you want to try this one. But I recommend this is a lick that I use so many ways, so many times. It's a great lick. It's I would say one of my favorite licks, sequences. It's simple, pentatonic, and the cool thing about it is each of the sequences, each of the patterns just go across each of the notes on the 5th fret. So you want to kind of think about each one of those is where you're going to start each one of the patterns. So, and it's nothing real complicated. It's just low, high, higher, higher, higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So go 5 notes forward from the starting note. My fingering on that is I kind of use my pinky or my ring finger to get that first note. So a lot of times I'll play this with just my pinky and index sometimes. Because it keeps it really less complicated in my mind. I'm just using 2 fingers to do 2 notes, doing a sequence across there. So you don't want to get your fingers in a knot. So find a good phrasing for that, a good way to do that. Now, again, 5 notes, okay, in that scale that I had up just a second ago. And right here is when you need to go to the next note on the 5th fret, which would be this note. And you do the same pattern, not the same scale shape, but the same sequence across the scale. So in a sense, it looks like I'm doing like a different pattern every time because the scale shape is changing each string, but it's really not. If you just think about it, I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going back to the next string and starting it from the next string using the same pattern that I had the graph a minute ago. So the first 2 would be like this. Now, you might think that doesn't sound like anything special, but when you get it in a rhythm and you really start playing it, it can really sound cool. Did you hear that? It kind of has a neat push to it, and then you want to do it on the D string on the 5th fret. Start there for the 3rd part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so. Let me play with that with a little bit of music. Here we go. Watch for it. So did you hear it there? It kind of had a real nice flow to it, doesn't it? And you don't have to play it really fast. I mean, that's not super fast. I'm just doing it kind of, I'm doing it well, but just not fast. And that's really what all you have to do on this is these sequences. I'm telling you, sequences can really make you sound better. They can make you sound better than you are. They can make you sound better in general. So, with that said, you want to practice it slowly and count it in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from the A string, 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from the D string, 5th fret. So in my mind, I'm picturing the box pattern that's across there. It's I call them small and large. Too small, too large, too small. Okay, so. It's that pickup note that really, each time you go to the little sequence, it's that, because you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and that 1 in the pattern, not the one in the beat, but the one in the that you're counting as far as the notes, it really kind of offsets it, and it kind of frees it from a real straight feel and gives it a really nice vibe. So practice that. Now, once you get that down, you can do it anywhere. Practice it up all of your pentatonic patterns. You know, just kind of go for it. Practice it at any scale you want. Let's try it with the Lydian mode, just the full mode. See if I can do it. I think that was right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, I may not do the next note. I may kind of skip a few. Yeah. Give it a kind of a good vibe like that. So you can use it across the board. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you pick a new note to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you pick a new note, a higher note, so you want to go up. Or you can probably maybe do something I have not done that I know of, is go back, go down. Try that. See if you can do that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of hard. So you want to work on that. I have a new riff to work on. Okay, I'm going to reverse this sequence and get some cool stuff out of it. So take a screenshot of that. There is the tablature for you. I think I tabbed it actually a step higher, but it doesn't matter. All of this stuff is just something you want to actually work on in every key you can. It's the same pattern. So there it is right there in the tab. You can also like leave a finger hanging out there. That right there. Oh, yeah. So I kind of got my ring finger to kind of always be that first note. I remember doing that. I used to do it that way a lot. So you can do that. Find ways to help yourself. You know, find ways to help yourself. Anyway, so now let's go on to the next riff that I want you to practice. Now this one is pretty cool. Pretty cool. This involves two techniques. Okay, this is pentatonic sequencing, note sequences, plus string skipping. Now, string skipping is something you don't hear a lot of people do in different genres. I know a lot of rock shredders do it, you know, Joe Satriani kind of things. But if you even do this in blues, country, different things, it can sound really neat. It can do some really cool stuff. Now let's listen to this riff. Let's see, I'm doing it in that key. Okay, 5/3, 5/2. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do it over this, and we'll see what happens. I did it on the intro a couple of times, I think. Let's see. Alright, so there it was. Slow, it doesn't have to be really fast. I'm kind of kicking the tremolo bar on each of the first notes of the sequence. So it's a high, low, low, low. It's just going down the pentatonic scale, only I'm skipping a string. So I'm going to the next two notes on the other string. And then I'm skipping the B string, going to the G string. And then I'm going back to the B string. All right, so I'm going to tell you the strings, okay? So the E string first, G, B, D, G, A, B, E. Octave higher there. Both of them there. I do a three sequence a lot, three note sequence. You can make up your own, you know, you just make up your own. See there, I kind of stop on the note. I kind of, you can do that. The rhythmical change. So you can do all kinds of really cool things with sequences rhythmically. Rhythmically, you can take one sequence and play it 100 different ways, pretty much. Depending on what you're wanting to do, you know. I mean, you just kind of try something. Sometimes you get a metronome set up and just kind of play your sequences, get it down really good, and then try to change it, try to make it, you know, clash with the rhythm a little bit. But you can make up your own sequences. I mean, there's a famous sequences is just go take a screenshot of that. Just going up 3 notes each time on one string. So there was a sequence. I was going 2 times on those 3 notes, and then up. So you can make anything a sequence. It's just a pattern you repeat and move. You just want to get it to move. You don't want to do it in the same spot. You want to kind of move it around, you know. So anyway, string skipping, man, I love the sound of that lick. You make sure you work on that one. It just sounds so nice, especially with the tremolo bar. Like that. So you can add that to all kinds of things. You can put these in any style of music. It doesn't really matter, as long as it sounds good. You know, just listen to what you're playing. Always listen to what you're playing. Don't just play riffs. Listen to what you're playing, because you want to take control of it. So anyway, I'm going to play out a little bit here, and you guys can just sit and listen a little bit. And I appreciate your time. Come back next Sunday, 9 p.m. Central, and we're going to have a new lesson. I'm not sure what it's going to be on yet. It may be on Lydian riffs. I really love Lydian riffs. They sound really good. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play out with some Lydian. Here we go. Oh yeah. Thanks for being here.